Alright, welcome back to the Undrafted Experts YouTube channel. I'm here with Tyler, the Naval Potato, and
Howdy.
Tim, he's a Dallas fan, he's in pain.
No,
And
I am not a Dallas fan. I'm not going to accept this slander. I submitted my official request to bandwagon the Chargers temporarily.
alright, anyway, we're here today to grade the free agency period for each AFC team. We're not sure how we're going to split this up yet, whether we're just going to do AFC and NFC or split it up by division. But as of now, the plan is to go through the entire AFC and then the entire NFC in another video.
We're gonna fucking wing it.
Yeah, obviously you'll see by the title what we actually do. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the AFC East here. With the Buffalo Bills, in free agency they signed Matt Barkley, traded for Case Keenum, signed Jamison Crowder, Duke Johnson, Jake Kumaro, Isaiah McKenzie, O.J. Howard, Roger Saffold, Mitch Morse, Shaq Lawson, Daquan Jones, Tim Settle, Jordan Phillips, Siren Neal, and the biggest of them all, Von Miller. How do we think about this?
Fucking 120 million right there, baby.
It's not 120 million. That's the big number. He's not going to see all 120 million. He's not going to see all 6 years of that contract. My guess is that contract there. I like this. I don't know actually how much I like the signing. Like, it's a good signing because Von's a good player. But I think about it and I'm like,
I don't know if it really
is that what Buffalo really needs? Do they need an elite pass rusher? They've dedicated so many resources over the last few years to edge rusher. They've Rousseau, and they've taken so many defensive linemen and defensive edge rushers, and I'm just like, that's a lot to dedicate to it. But obviously, Von Miller is Von Miller, and he's probably just as good or better than all of them combined.
I think it's also it's a big name, and so it'll attract a crowd and get more butts and seats.
Yeah, it's a big time signing in terms of getting more ticket sales and more attention to the team. Like Tim said, I don't think it's really their biggest need considering how much draft capital they've spent on edge rusher. I mean, you think of Gregory Rousseau last year, first round pick. So I don't know. And of course, Jamison Crowder, he'll be a solid receiver. I'm not sure if Emmanuel Sanders is still signed there.
I totally missed the Jamison Crowder pickup in the news. I didn't actually see that. I like that pickup. I think he's a great replacement for Cole Beasley. Kind of that slot merchant type of guy who's going to perform really well as a wide receiver 3.
Yeah. Also, another really good signing, in my opinion, is the Roger Saffold signing. Shore up your left guard spot. You know, that's your replacement for John Feliciano, which you let go. And then, of course, we have a new OJ in Buffalo. O.J. Howard signed a 1-year deal.
O.J. Howard, a guy that I kind of consider to be kind of overrated in the league because I don't know if that's more of the fantasy community who overrates him. But I feel like he just gets a lot of comparisons to like these amazing tight ends and to like Jimmy Graham, and I just haven't seen it. But I think he's a really solid tight end too, right behind Dawson Knox. I think they'll match up well and single back and be able to run a bunch of 2 tight end sets with both of them out on the field.
I would also like to point out that Emmanuel Sanders is only a 1-year deal. He's apparently free agent. Bills don't have him.
Okay, so he's taking Emmanuel Sanders' role in a way, so that Gabe Davis can still play the slot. All right.
I like it.
It's a good pickup, and it's very cheap.
Jamison Crowder's a good pickup. Isaiah McKenzie's a good pickup. They're not quite as, I wouldn't say that they're quite as good as Emmanuel Sanders, but they're going to be just as good as him in the next year or 2.
I was going to say, year or 2, and they'll be just as good. And they finally get a decent running back with Duke Johnson.
I mean, it's going to be another running back into the carousel.
I'm not going to do it. Nope, I'm gonna do it. My fantasy football brain's taking over again. Duke Johnson is the most overrated fantasy football player in the world. He's been the number one sleeper for the last 5 seasons, and the man puts up 6 fantasy points a game. Anyways, that's my tangent, not Duke Johnson. I don't want to go with that Duke Johnson.
All right.
Jeez, let your hair out, Tim.
Well, with that,
No, I'm just saying.
Tyler, what's your grade for this?
Oh, for the Bills, I would have to say a B minus B, somewhere around that mark.
You have to give them one or the other. That's the point of a grade. B minus or B.
You know what? Fuck you. Go with the B then, since it's a higher grade.
All right, Tim, what's your grade?
I actually totally agree. I was thinking it's a B. It's not a fantastic It's not a fantastic nothing that I go, oh my god, that's the best signing I've ever seen. But nothing that I go, that's a terrible signing.
All right. Well, my grade for this, I'm actually going to go a bit higher. I will go B+. Von Miller should be really good for them. And I really do like the Roger Saffold signing. I think that's going to be a great pickup for their O-line. So, I think you can give it a little more credit than what you guys are giving. But I understand why y'all are giving it a B. It's understandable. Not the best class, but definitely one of the better ones compared to some classes we'll see. Alright, moving on to the Dolphins here. They have a lot of pieces that they brought in. To start off, they signed Teddy Bridgewater.
They signed a brand new quarterback from week 5. He'll be the starter. I'm just kidding. No, they're going to stick with Tua. They're not going to do
what
they did with Prince. No, I'm not.
I'm not.
So hold on. My question is, does that mean they believe that Tua is going to be another Josh Rosen?
I don't think there's ever going to be another Josh Rosen. Let's be honest.
No, there's not. There's not.
Anyway, they also signed Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Alec Ingold, traded for Tyreek Hill, signed Trent Sherfield, Preston Williams, Cedric Wilson, franchise tagged Mike Gesicki, re-signed Dermot Smythe, signed Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, Emmanuel Agba, Duke Riley, Landon Roberts, and Brennan Scarlett. There's a lot to discuss here.
I'm going to start on the easy side. Oh, never mind. You can go ahead.
I think the easiest place to start here, Tyreek Hill, one of the biggest names in the NFL, for good and bad reasons. We don't really need to go any further on that, but
not our place.
It really isn't.
I'll let D
was traded
by the first round.
Was traded to the Dolphins for the number 29 pick, a 2022 second, 2022 fourth, and a 2023 fourth and sixth round pick, while also extending him for 4 years, $120 million, with $72 million guaranteed.
I like it. I love it. In fact, I'm not of the crowd that Tua is not going to be able to get him the ball. I'm not of that crowd. Tyreek Hill, sure, definitely has long speed. He can dust almost anybody off the line, but that's not the only thing he's good at. He's the fastest player in the league, whether you're talking 0 to 10 or you're talking 0 to 60. No matter how fast, he's incredibly shifty. He's going to be a great weapon for Mike McDaniel in that offense.
Yeah, I really can't praise this trade enough. I mean, when you think about it, the Dolphins still have 2 first-round picks next year after this is done. And now they have the most shifty and elusive receiver in the NFL. I mean, he's going to get separation no matter what he does, really, because he's just that damn fast. And line him up alongside Jalen Waddle. What team has a secondary that can hold on to both? And then not forget about Mike Gesicki.
I did like that. I like the tag. I think they didn't need to let him walk out the door. That's pretty much all I had to say about that. But yeah.
Yeah, especially with how this tight end class is kind of not that good. in my opinion. It's very smart to hold on to your tight ends now. Maybe next year there might be some tight ends. I haven't really looked that deep into the 2023 class. But for right now, smart move by Miami. Thinking of the wrong team. Smart
they
move
both
by
suck.
Miami.
For me personally, Tyreek Hill it's an excellent pickup. The trading, everybody makes it sound like it's a fucking king ransom for the Chiefs, but it's nothing. It's pocket change for the Dolphins with how many picks they have.
Yeah,
But
that, and I mean, you're
Yeah,
only,
that's
only
the picks are being evaluated from the Kansas City side, who are just operating with the normal picks that they have. The Dolphins have such a surplus of picks, and this is a fantastic way to use them.
Yeah,
And
and you also gotta think of it this way. That first and second rounder are both gonna be in the last few picks of that round, and it's only for this year. Next year they're gonna have all their first 3-round picks that I'm aware of, as well as some picks from San Francisco. Why wouldn't they do this?
yes, but my only issue is they're building. It's smart, but a little questionable at the same time. Because it's smart, they're building the offense around their possible future franchise quarterback in Tua. But he's been questionable so far.
I don't think
He's
that's
shown.
nearly as big of a deal as you're making it out to be. But go ahead.
Well, my whole thing is that they don't have that great of a run offense, from what I've seen at least.
Well, that's what Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert are supposed to
Their
do.
running
Or at
game
least
is
they're
going to be
hoping
so
it will
much
do.
better. In fact, Tyron Armstead and Connor Williams are going to solidify it and make it amazing. Mike McDaniel's a run first guy. He's a Shanahan guy. They're going to run the ball a lot more than they're going to pass the ball, even with their weapons. And your concern about Tua, it's a valid concern. But we've seen people in the 49ers offense that aren't the best quarterbacks in the world be pretty successful.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I'm
look,
not denying
Jimmy
that at all.
G's not the best, and he's going to succeed in the 49ers offense. So even if Tua is not great, and they even if they want to bench Tua, I think Teddy Bridgewater can run their offense perfectly fine, and they
Oh.
would still be competent and move on fairly well with him.
Yeah, but that was just my whole thing of why I wouldn't say the Tyreek Hill is a really good pick, but it's not like the best there is.
Yeah, that, and of course, Tim noted it. Teron Armstead and Connor Williams, amazing signings considering how bad that offensive line has been for years. You've just signed one of the best. You've signed one of the best tackles in the league for 5 years, and then you got Connor Williams, who is an underrated guard in my opinion.
Maybe it's because I'm in Cowboy circles, but I want to call him slightly. He's a little bit overrated in Cowboy circles, but he's not someone that I wanted to let walk out the door. But it's a good pickup. He's a solid young guy that's going to be a good piece in that offense and he's going to perform well.
Yeah, and of course Emmanuel Ogbah is also a really good signing.
I was going to say getting him that big. Their big 4-year deal.
Yeah.
It's good money.
So, I mean, with that, Tyler, what's your grade?
A grade on this one? A-, really.
Bro, stop stealing my grades. But since I just want to be different. I can't do it. A-.
You know what? You won't do it, but I will. I'm giving this free agency class an A. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be one of the biggest trades that we're going to talk about for the next 5 years, more than likely. I mean, this is a trade that can alter Mahomes' career, like, heavily. This could heavily change Tua's projected career. And this could change both franchises either for the better or for the worse.
Okay. And I'll start it with one team that we will get to later.
Alright, next team on the list is going to be the New England Patriots. And just looking at this, there's not much to talk about.
Not
Honestly.
impressive either.
I mean, they re-signed Brian Hoyer, signed Ty Montgomery, re-signed James White, re-signed Trent Brown, re-signed James, not going to try the last name,
Correct.
re-signed Juwan Bentley, traded for Mac Wilson but lost Chase Winovich, signed Malcolm Butler, signed Terrence Mitchell, re-signed Devin McCourty, re-signed Nick Folk, and re-signed Matthew Slater. They
It's not much
basically
to talk about
re-signed
here.
everything. They really didn't do anything.
And they didn't have the cap to do anything, really.
No, but at the same time, I mean, you would have hoped for them to have at least gone out for a receiver. Maybe not one of the top names, but
You know,
something.
fucking the way
Like
Nikhil
it.
Harry played.
I actually like their off season. Maybe it's just because I put a lot of trust into Bill Belichick and what his plans are, but I think he's going to go into the draft kind of attacking his offensive plan and making his offense a lot better. The defense. Let's not underrate that defense. That defense was actually incredible last year. And
Yeah,
even
but I
with
mean-
losing J.C. Jackson, you obviously want to
Yeah.
get a corner. You obviously want to grab a corner of that caliber, but they didn't have the money for that a corner of that caliber. So it's not. They just brought things back, but I don't think that this is all the worst thing in the world. Like a lot of people are trying to claim it out to be. They're like, oh, the Patriots didn't do anything. The Patriots didn't do anything. Mind you, the Patriots weren't a bad team last year.
They made the
No.
They almost made
They
the playoffs.
really
I can't
weren't.
remember if they made it or not.
They did. They got
Yeah.
destroyed by Buffalo.
Yeah,
Remember
well,
that
so
was
they made
that was the perfect game.
Right. Yeah, you're right. But they made the playoffs, so they didn't really need to do much. And plus, they got all their picks for the draft, so obviously Belichick's got a plan for what to do with those picks. And he's always been excellent at drafting.
Yeah, that is fair. It's just compared to like the two classes we just looked at, this is a complete different world in terms of free agency like philosophy here.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, Tyler, what's your grade?
Nothing spectacular. It's just a bunch of re-signings. So I have to give it a B minus, really.
It's fair. Tim?
Ooh, I'm actually gonna give it a little bit lower, even though I do like the draft class. I'm gonna give it a C minus, just because I understand the cap concerns, but they let J.C. Jackson walk out the door, and I was gonna give it a C plus, and then I was like, no, they did have to let J.C. Jackson walk out the door, so it's gonna get It's gonna get a bump down for me.
That's fair. I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle between both of y'all. I'm just gonna go with the straight C. It's nothing spectacular, but at the same time, I mean, you kept most of your players. I mean, the big one is J.C. Jackson. And you did acquire Mac Wilson, which is a solid pickup. So,
Yeah, but losing
know.
Chase Winovich for that.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Pretty mediocre free agency so far for the Patriots.
They're still, mind you, we're still recording this with a lot of big names still on the board. They could still sign somebody like Stephon Gilmore, and that would be a
That'd be
good
weird.
Yeah,
replacement.
that is something that we haven't mentioned yet. We're recording this a few days after the Teron Armstead signing, which was the last major signing. Tyrann Mathieu is still available, as well as Stephon Gilmore, Odell Beckham, and a few others. It's just, in my opinion, it's been 2 weeks now. We kind of have to do something.
Most of the big names.
So obviously, like the Patriots, like you said, they could go out and bring back Stephon Gilmore, and this grade goes up to like a B. For me, it would probably go up a full letter to a B. But you know,
It wouldn't get that much for me, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. This is what they've done. That's what I would give them for what they've done so far.
And to the final team in the AFC, so you got the New York Jets. They re-signed Joe Flacco. They kept Mike White. Honestly, like, can any team beat that? Like, how can any team beat that? That's amazing. Anyway, continuing. They re-signed Tevin Coleman, Braxton Berrios. They brought in Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzama. They re-signed Connor McDermott, brought in Laken Tomlinson, re-signed Dan Feeney, Nathan Shepard, signed Jacob Martin, DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead, and re-signed LaMarcus Joyner. These are some quality signings, in my opinion. Not too much in terms of flashy signings, but
I
very
like the
good in terms of
Berrios
quality.
deal a lot. I think he's a
Oh, yeah.
decent wide receiver, but he's an amazing. What he offers on special teams is just amazing. Berrios, getting him for $6 million a year is probably a little bit lower than he was probably actually worth in free agency. So I like the Braxton Berrios signing a lot. I really, really like the tight end signing. I think they're going to go a Patriots style offense, kind of focus on
I'm
running the
thinking that
ball
too,
more.
yeah.
I think that
I mean,
they're gonna try to run the ball more, run a lot of play action that I believe that Zach Wilson can have a lot of success on.
And they also got Joe Flacco, the king of checkdowns to tight ends. So
They made sure to get him some weapons, man.
yeah,
in case Zach Wilson goes down, they have
What I'm
something he can throw
actually
to tight ends.
what I'm actually surprised about is we didn't see them spend a lot more money on defense in free
Yeah.
agency so far. I figured that Sala would have some guys out there that he'd want to find and he would want to
I
put on
figured
his
he would
team,
try to
because
get a
considering
lot
they
of
had the
edge
money to
rushers.
spend on that. But I guess I understand that. I think he thinks that he's grabbing players for his scheme fits. He's gonna spend all his money on his offense while getting solid players that can run his scheme well.
I'm also thinking
Well,
that we're gonna see a lot of defensive picks from the Jets in the draft this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think one guy to watch out for the Jets in the draft is going to be Trayvon Walker. I think he's going to be really good in the Saleh system. It's just a matter of if the Jets can get him, which they should be able to, but we'll see how everything shakes out.
I totally agree. I think that they're also going to grab a running back in the second round, and that would probably prove exactly what I'm trying to say. I don't
Yes.
Yeah.
know. I could be wrong though.
And then, of
they did
course,
sign Tevin Coleman.
yeah, I do really like the Laken Tomlinson signing, obviously. You've got Mekhi Becton. You just brought back Connor McDermott. So, in a way, you don't have to worry about the tackle spots for now. And Laken Tomlinson will help shore up the interior of that offensive line for the next 3 years. As well as bringing in Dan Feeney, who, I'll be honest, don't know too much about him. But I'm assuming probably be a decent player in terms of depth, I'm guessing. So
Couldn't tell you.
with that, what's your grade, Tyler?
Shit, why do you always make me go first, asshole?
Because of the way the graphic
That's
is.
kind of the thing. We established it.
Um,
The
Congrats,
graphic,
you get to go
literally,
first.
the graphic literally goes, you, Tim, me.
Listen, I'm not looking at the graphic. Anyway, this one, it's a pretty decent one. Nothing flashy or anything like that. So I give it a solid B for it.
All right,
B
Tim.
plus for me. I like it. I think it's a really solid class. I really like the tight end signings. I like the way that they're I think that they're going to build their offense, and if they actually build their offense like that, Uzuma and Tyler Conklin are going to do great things in that offense.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Tim here as well. I'm gonna go B plus. As he said, I really like the tight end signings. I think that's gonna be really good. Laken Tomlinson should be a really good guard for them going forward, and Jordan Whitehead should help shore up the safety spot for them, considering Marcus May. I can't remember if he's a free agent right now or if he's about to be, but I know he doesn't want to be in New York, so should be a very good signing for them going forward.
Give me a second. Yeah, he's a free agent this year.
He is.
Yes.
And with that, thank you all for watching our coverage of the AFC East. I kind of decided this midway through. I think we are going to do division by division, so expect every
Oh,
division
really?
coming up.
Did you
over the
realize?
next-
Did you realize that we were gonna talk for longer? Like I told
Yes,
you we
yes,
were.
I
gonna-
did. Yes, I did.
Shut up, Tim.
It takes a video to notice what's gonna happen, okay? But thank you all for watching. Next up is the AFC North, I believe. So I'll get to talk about my Steelers. One of my favorite things
I get
to
to
do.
laugh
They're
at the
gonna
Steelers.
they're gonna want to kill me after about 20 minutes of discussion.
I'll
But
get to laugh
anyway,
at the Steelers.
thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Cha-ching.